Hi guys, and welcome to the first part of the webinar about teaching listening skills. My name is Anastasia. I've been working as a teacher of English for about 10 years, and this is my third year in Skyen. Recently, I've joined the premium team as a teacher and a methodologist. Today, we are going to learn how to get your students ready for listening exercises. First, we are going to discuss why listening can be tricky. Then we are going to talk about two strategies that will help them to deal with listening comprehension called top-down listening and pre-teaching words, why we should pre-teach them and what exactly should be pre-taught. Let's start with a short listening practice. I'm going to play a recording for you. There is no special task for it. Just think about these questions. Was it easy or difficult to understand? If it was difficult, why?
Enjoy your roll.
Yeah, thanks, Nadine.
Please, Isa, join us.
What can I get you?
Oh, nothing for me. Just a tea hen and watch my way. Maybe have a wee roll, sausage and a pat an egg on it, a wee bit of bacon. What's that you've got, Victor?
Rolling black pudding.
A wee bit of black pudding and all, and stick a tatty scone in the tap.
Do you want beans and all?
No. Maybe a wee fork for her.
Right.
Oh, Sinead, congratulations on your 1 year anniversary. That's flew in.
How did you know?
I just seen wee Fergie across the road. Was buying you something nice. Of course, I'll no say what it is. Flowers.
You know, that's remarkable, Isa. You managed to order the whole world on a roll and keep a secret for 52 whole seconds.
Shut up. A wee slice of tomato, no hen.
Tomato.
Can I get that to go?
Aye, no bother. We've got a wheelbarrow out the back.
So, what do you think about it? You can pause the video here and think about the questions on the slide. Anyway, this recording brings us to some important conclusions about listening in real life. What makes listening tricky? First of all, it takes place in real time. So we don't have an opportunity to stop, go back and re-listen. It means that we have to process information really fast. Secondly, there can be some background noise or people speaking at the same time. Next, speed characteristics can affect understanding. Also, in real life, we often repeat information in a different format. For example, we paraphrase sentences, we use synonyms, pronouns, and references. Finally, there is a belief that listening is a passive skill, that it is something that our students somehow acquire if they are exposed to as much listening as possible. In other words, if we ask them to listen every day as often as possible and send them 100 YouTube videos, 100 TED Talks and 100 podcasts, they will somehow magically learn to understand better, which of course doesn't work that way. So what should we do to help our students with listening comprehension? We need to stop testing their current abilities and start teaching them new skills that they will take to their real life and apply to their real listening situations. Unfortunately, many course books, and our platform is not an exception here, do not really teach our students any new skills, they just test their current abilities. Here I have a selection of exercises for you. Pause the video here and try to answer the question, which of them are teaching and which of them are testing? I can give you a hint. Think about which exercise or exercises tell our students how they are supposed to do the exercise, what to focus on. If you think about it, you'll see that only exercise 5 is going to answer this question, while number 1, 2, 3, and 4 just ask them to listen and tick, to listen and mark, or listen and match, which is not teaching, it's just testing. That is why we as teachers need to use some strategies to help our students to understand more and teach them how to deal with listening comprehension. The first strategy we are going to discuss today is called top-down processing. When we use top-down strategies, we use general knowledge of the world, the given social situation, our life experience, and so on. It's like we're looking from the top and trying to see a big picture. Let me illustrate this. Look at this picture. Where is it taken from? There are 3 options how you can answer this question. First of all, you might have seen the movie. You simply know that it is taken from a movie. Secondly, you might know Robert De Niro, the actor in the middle. But even if you have never seen him, and if you have never seen the movie, you can see the clue in the left bottom corner. This is how you can understand that it's taken from a film. So it's your life experience which helped you to answer the question. So how do we teach top-down processing? Just like I did before, we can use visuals or pictures. Also, we can ask questions connected with the topic. Finally, we can ask students to make predictions. Why should we do all this? Why can't we just start listening? To answer this question, we need to understand how we select things for listening in real life. Do we normally know the name of the video? Do we know the format? Do we know the topic? Are we normally interested in the topic? Do we have some kind of motivation? I'm sure the answer to all these questions is yes. And that's exactly what we need to do before we ask our students to listen and do some exercises. We need to create motivation for listening. And when we use top-down strategies, we activate our students' background knowledge, which helps them to understand more. Speaking about that recording which I played at the beginning, I totally failed as a teacher because you were not ready. Probably you've noticed that this recording was taken from a video, so instead of just playing the recording, I should have shown you some pictures, maybe screenshots from the same video. And of course I should have asked you a few questions, like where are they? What are they going to do? Who is the lady on the right? Does she look friendly? What country is it? And so on. One more picture could also be helpful. If I had elicited these food names before playing the recording, it would have been easier for you to catch them. Now let's bring these ideas into practice. Here you can see the transcript from our General English course, pre-intermediate level, lesson 10 about famous photos. Pause the video here and study the transcript carefully. After that, think about the following question. What questions based on the content will allow students to understand more? If you've already done this, let's check together. In fact, we can ask 3 groups of questions here. The first group will be about people. The questions might be, who are these people? What are they doing? Are they talking or arguing? What are they talking about? Are they friends or lovers? Why do you think so? Are they still together? Do you believe in eternal love? If we start answering these questions, we will generate a lot of connected vocabulary. And if you compare this vocabulary with the script, you'll see that all these words appear in the recording. The next group is about the place. You can ask, where are they? What city is it? How did you guess? What stereotypes about Paris do you know? Is Paris a romantic place? Is it easier to fall in love there? And generated vocabulary is, again, appears in the recording. Finally, we can ask about the photo itself. Is it a new photo? How did you guess? When was this photo taken? Who took the photo? Do you, as a student, like looking at your old family photos? What stories do you or your family usually tell about them? And the generated vocabulary is, again, just like we hear in the recording. That looks like a lot of questions, right? Of course, there are a few things to consider here. First of all, which phase should be longer, pre-listening or listening or re-listening, and why? And what skills other than target listening skills are involved in the pre-listening phase? Pause the video here and think about these questions. If you already have some answers, let's check together. The right answer here is listening or re-listening stage, because at the pre-listening stage you're going to use other skills, not only target listening skills, which may distort the listening experience by giving away too much information in advance. The next thing, what does the length of pre-listening phase depend on? Pause the video here and make some predictions. But the right answer is confidence in the input. Where confidence in the input is high, we don't have to spend a lot of time on compensatory top-down information. Finally, how many times should we listen? The right answer is twice. What for? Once to get used to the voices of the recording and try to get the gist, and the second time goes for getting specific information required by the task. It's worth mentioning that even having been asked proper top-down questions, many students still stay unable to get to the key ideas of listening exercises. And sometimes the reason for that is that there is some blocking vocabulary in the recording. That is why we're going to speak about pre-teaching vocabulary, why exactly we should pre-teach words, and what exactly should be pre-taught. Look at the transcript. It's taken from our general intermediate course, a story about Carol and how she tried to find her ex-boyfriend. Study the transcript and the questions carefully. Pause the video here and try to find the answers to the questions in the script. If you've done this, pay attention to words and collocations which help to answer the questions. If you're ready, let's check together. So Carol realized that they didn't have anything in common, and Robert used to be a rebel, but now he's much more conventional. Is it possible to answer the questions if we don't know these words? That's right, it's not. It's pretty obvious now that if we don't pre-teach these words, the students will never be able to get to key ideas of the exercise. By pre-teaching, we give our students another opportunity to predict what is going to happen in the recording. In other words, pre-teaching words is another way of activating background knowledge. It's not exactly the same as top-down processing, however, it contributes to a bigger picture. Let's look at some basic rules how to choose words for pre-teaching. What do you think? Should we pre-teach all new words? Pause the video here, try to answer the question yourself. If you've done this, let's check together. The answer here is no. First of all, it's time-consuming. Secondly, it leaves students unprepared for real-life listening, because in real life nobody pre-teaches us all new words, and we have to be able to guess them from the context. Finally, we switch the focus from trying to get the idea of the recording to trying to catch particular words which have been pre-taught. Finally, we switch the focus from trying to get the idea of the recording to trying to catch particular words which have been pre-taught. It doesn't make any sense. So we definitely shouldn't pre-teach everything. Instead, we should pre-teach only critical words. What are they? Pause the video here and think about the following expressions one more time. Was it possible to answer the questions without them? By critical words, we mean words without which the exercise can't be completed. How many critical words should there be in a listening exercise? Pause the video and make your predictions. The right answer here is 4, at most 5. Let's be rational here. By critical words, we mean words which block understanding of some particular ideas. But it doesn't mean that there are no other new words in the text. So if in the recording there are too many blocking words, it means the level of the recording is simply not appropriate. Finally, should we do speaking activities with critical words at the pre-teaching stage? Pause the video here, choose the right answer, think about your arguments. If you've already done this, let's check together. The right answer is no. And let's be rational again. Are students going to produce or perceive words in a listening exercise? In other words, are they going to speak? This is how we see that producing words at the pre-teaching stage doesn't make any sense. Pay attention, however, that we are talking about the pre-teaching stage, not post-listening activity. If you want your students to remember and use these words after the class, it's necessary to do some production activities as a post-listening task. Now let's bring all these ideas into practice. We're going to work with the same lesson and the same recording. Look at the transcript. Pause the video here, study the script and the sentences carefully. Find words in the transcript which help to mark the sentences as true or false. If you've already done this, let's check together. Now think about one pre-intermediate student of yours. If you don't have a pre-intermediate student now, Just remember somebody from your past, or just imagine a typical student. Look at the words. Which of them are already familiar to them? Pause the video here and make your predictions. Probably the majority of students know words like see, at home, at work, and husband. Maybe some of them also know hardworking, dreamer, and similar. But if you're not sure about a particular student, it's better play safe and elicit the meaning at the pre-teaching stage. You see that not all words which are critical for one student are going to be equally critical for another student. It depends on a particular student, but it also depends on how well the teacher knows the student's active vocabulary. So how does it all work? Let's summarize. Top-down strategies help us to predict the content of the recording and focus on a big picture. By using top-down strategies, we can even predict some particular words that then will appear in the recording. However, there are words which can't be understood from the recording because they are simply new and the student is not able to guess them from the context. In this case, we need to pre-teach these words if they reveal some key ideas of the exercise. To sum up, we need to teach listening, not just test it. We implement top-down strategies before listening, and we pre-teach only critical words, not all new words. That was all that I wanted to share with you today, and the next step is doing the pre-workshop test to check yourself and get prepared for the practical workshop. See you there. Have a great day, everyone. Your TTC.